I'm going to put a picture on screen of my progress pictures throughout the years. Now, as you can see, for like the first 2 to 3 years, nothing significant really happens. It's only in the most recent year that everything changed. And throughout this journey, I discovered the biggest reason why people don't make more muscle past their noob gains. To be more specific, it's after their noob gains. As you can see from the picture, I struggled with making muscle for years, but I was also going to the gym consistently during this time. Like, it would be fair enough if you thought, like, okay, yeah, these are your progress pictures, but who's to say you weren't going to the gym when you were supposed, like, you know what I mean? Like, were you going to the gym as consistently as you think you were? I actually was. I promise you, I give you my word, I was. And I still wasn't making muscle. I was actually learning about it too. Like, I would watch YouTube videos every single day for like hours, wondering why I wasn't making muscle when it seemed like everyone else on the internet was. Why was it that muscle building is so easy for everyone else, but different for me? Because I can't be, like, it can't be that they're doing anything significantly different. Do you know what I mean? I must be doing something wrong. It turns out I was. You see, when I was watching these videos, I was looking at things that were too advanced for me. I needed to basically humble myself and realize, like, let's just go back to the basics. Let's actually go to origin of muscle building, like the big bang of muscle building. Let's figure out what it actually takes to build muscle. Let's just do the basics. And once I did that, ta-da, I built muscle, as you can see. You see, once you get to a certain point, you can't just go through the motions anymore. Like, you've basically gotten complacent. Complacency is basically where you're so comfortable at the level you're at right now, you don't think you need to change anything, and you stop improving. So therefore you stop progressing and you stop making more muscle. You can't go through the motions anymore if you're watching this video. If you're genuinely at the, like, if you've not had your noob gains yet, like, this doesn't really apply to you. But for those of you who have, which, if you've been going to the gym consistently for like a year now, you're in this group. We can't just go through the motions anymore. We actually need to train like athletes now. We need to track what we do. We need to improve. We need to focus on like such minor details that the noobs, the amateurs, they don't focus on. We need to be professionals now. I know you may not be competing, but right, like if you really want to achieve your dream physique, you can't do it just going through the motions. You have to become a professional. And here's what I'm a professional. I'm going to tell you just some like professional level things that you can do which will allow you to build more muscle. You need to start training with intention. You can't just half-ass any of this anymore. You need to go in there and think, okay, so on bench press, I'm going to focus on where my left hand is positioned. Like, you know, like really, really like neurotic detail where it's like you're almost like a scientist in a weird way, where you're looking at every single one of your lifts and you're assessing any minor detail which will allow you to perform better. Because I promise you, if you do this, you will not have a problem building muscle. If you treat this like it's a profession, if you treated this like it was your career, you would build more muscle in a quicker amount of time because of how seriously you're taking it, how much intention you're putting into it. This is what we call deliberate practice. Going in and practicing deliberately with intention. So say, for example, on the bench press, if you don't know the scientific terms, like scientific, I guess, there is a concentric, for every lift, there is a concentric, an isometric, and an eccentric. Concentric is where you're contracting the muscles. So like, say chest flies, the concentric would be going in and like squeezing the chest. So chest fly, by the way, is where you basically just do this. You squeeze your chest in and you go out. The concentric is bringing it in. The isometric is where you hold it here before you do the eccentric, before you go back. The eccentric is where you go back. You see, most people are too quick with their eccentric, myself included. We basically allow the weights to drop rather than controlling the weight down. So, long story short, throughout the entire lift, control the lift. I know this is basic, but quite frankly, you need to hear this, because if you understood the basics, you wouldn't watch this video, right? I know that hurts to hear, and you're like, well, who are you, Alfie? You still look skinny. Like, I get that. I still need to focus. I'm progressing too, you know what I mean? Like, I'm still on my bodybuilding journey. I've not got a 10 out of 10 physique yet, but I've made significant progress, and it only feels right to share that to you. So, my mind just went blank. Yeah. Just one thing that professionals do is actually control the weight. Like, they actually control their reps, they control the movement. I mean, at least what I found with like the going up part with like the concentric, going explosive or slow doesn't really make too much of a difference, at least from what I've heard. So I just personally go explosive fast, and then like make the weight halt. So I'm not just going like I may go explosive, wait a second, not a second, but like just make sure there's no momentum, and then bring it back down slowly. What's something else? Progressive overload, tracking everything. This is the biggest like professional type thing you could do. Just track your lifts. Do you know there's so many people who walk into the gym and not know what they're gonna train on that day? Like, I'll ask them and I'll be like, I don't know, maybe I'll do arms, and they don't think about it. And now there's valuable times where turning off your brain works, but in general, I like to track my things, and I think it'd be better for tracking your things makes it so that you're almost like a scientist. You can see why something's going wrong, because if you don't track anything and something stops working, you stop building muscle, something's wrong, how are you going to know exactly what to fix? Do you know what I mean? How do you know that you are doing a higher weight or more reps than you did last week if you're not tracking anything? That's a big thing. That's a big thing about muscle building. Progressive overload requires you to increase the weight or reps over time. And if you're not tracking that, you're just going in blind. You can't do that. Do you know what I mean? Because going in blind, you're going to sacrifice like so much time. That's so much wasted potential. You could if you like, to the people who don't track their stuff, they could genuinely save over the long run years of their life. If they literally years of their life, or rather bodybuilding journey, if they just track their things. Some people say, oh, it's effort. How dare you say it's effort? You go to the gym, you train hard, and you're gonna look at us and say, oh, tracking your stuff, that's just effort. It's literally entering numbers into an app. It takes like 30 seconds, bro. It's not so mentally demanding. You in primary school, or like for the Americans in like elementary, I think, well, whatever school you were at when you were like 6 years old, I promise you there was more mentally demanding tasks then than tracking your weight and your reps now. It's not hard, but if you do it, you'll save years, literal years. As I like, trust me, like, you could save years, like, you don't even understand. You could save years in your bodybuilding journey if you just go back to the basics, thoroughly understand progressive overload, thoroughly understand what it means to train till failure, because it is excruciatingly painful. Understand like the components of a rep, the concentric, isometric, and eccentric. If you just take the basics seriously, I promise you will build muscle. By the way, I've got everything that you could ever need to learn how to build muscle and do it effectively, quickly, and like whatever the rest you want in my aesthetic body course. I promise you, if I had this when I started, you'd see that picture where, like, for the first 2 to 3 years I didn't make any more muscle. I promise you, I could get to where I am right now within the first year or 2 years of my training. I can't go back in time, but I can save you years of your journey. If you buy the aesthetic body course and you take it seriously and you take action, that will happen for you too. You see, my mission with this YouTube channel is to, like, basically save young men from insecurity, because I've been there where I would wake up and I would look in the mirror and there would be no positive thoughts. It would just be completely negative. You might be here right now, where you go into school or like 24/7, you're literally sat there thinking, I'm too ugly, no girl will ever love me. Because these are the thoughts I had, by the way. Like, unironically as well, I wasn't like pretending to be like this broken guy. I genuinely believed that no girl would ever like have a crush on me, love me, or even like, now I wouldn't say look in my direction. I'll tell you the truth, like, I'm not like that sad. You know, I'm not that hopeless. But I would never be attractive. I genuinely had that belief in my mind, and that life was horrible. But genuinely, bodybuilding started a journey where I could feel proud of myself again, where I looked in the mirror and I actually liked what I saw. I would go into school and I actually felt like, you know what? Maybe I actually am attractive. And if you've been through what I've been through, where you felt insecure, I promise you, when you actually get that thought, maybe I am attractive. Maybe I actually do look good. Oh my God, it's a life-changing feeling, and I wish that for you. And I can help you get there if you subscribe. Safe.